Hey Canucks fans, hope you're well on this Thursday afternoon. Have a bit of Canucks roster news as the Canucks make their way to Ottawa. Actually, they traveled there today for the start of their 6-game road trip, and they start off that road trip by playing against the Senators on Saturday. So let's get into the Canucks roster news and then a couple other tidbits as well. The first one, the big one from today, is that Jonathan Lekkerimaki has been sent down to Abbotsford and forward Max Sasson has been called up. So a bit of a surprising move, but not really. The way that Rick Tocchet has been talking about Jonathan Lekkerimaki, he said that he's been okay in his first stint with the Vancouver Canucks. Did say that he's got to work on both parts of his game, the offensive part and the defensive part. Lekkerimaki is known as a shooter, was brought in to replace Brock Boeser. And with Boeser close to returning, I'll get to that in a second, it looks like Lekkerimaki maybe didn't have the impact, or at least wasn't required to stay up with the big club. Now, a couple things about his game, Lekkerimaki. He scored in his second game against the Islanders back on the 14th, but it's gone pointless since. So he's played in 5 games, and he only has that 1 goal. He is a -4 in those 5 games, and was getting anywhere between 13 and a half to 16 minutes of ice time. So not bad. Top 6 minutes, of course, and a bit of power play duty, but not a lot of shots either. Like he's only had 5, 6, 7 shots over 5 games, and that's probably not enough as for someone who's designated or classified as a shooter. Now, in terms of the offensive game, we've seen flashes. He's able to find kind of soft spots in the ice, in the middle of the ice, and he's gotten his shot off a few times, including that nice goal against the Islanders and a couple other good chances over the past 5 games. But Rick Tocchet even said that he needs to just play a bit smarter, both offensively and defensively. On the offensive side, it's really continue to work hard to get opportunities to get his shot off. And he doesn't, Rick Tocchet doesn't need Jonathan Lekkerimaki to be the best playmaker ever, but he does need to make sure that he works hard enough, gets into open ice to get that shot off. So work in progress. On the defensive side, for sure, he needs to ramp up a little bit, but that's kind of like all young forwards for sure, making the jump from the AHL to the NHL. So no like glaring, I can't think of one goal over the past 5 games that's been Lekkerimaki's fault, but at the same time, there is a way that you can play harder, play better along the boards, just win more puck battles than you lose. And the one thing that I've noticed, and many of you have noticed and said on my streams too, is that Lekkerimaki looks small out there. And obviously he can't just immediately grow 3 inches taller and 20 pounds heavier. So it's now he is what he is at 5'11", 175 pounds. He has to play bigger, and you do that by making better decisions, showing good hockey IQ, working very hard, winning a lot of battles, and then you'll simply look a lot bigger out there. Now, Rick Tocchet's kind of hinted at this when they were talking about Jonathan Lekkerimaki yesterday. He said, like, no matter where he is, up here or down there, that the most important thing right now in his rookie season is that he develops the right way. And generally, not for everyone, but generally, unless you're a phenom or a superstar, it's better to marinate and to develop in, say, the AHL as opposed to trial by fire in the NHL. Again, there's some guys that are good enough to do that, but the majority of players, that's why there is a farm system. That's why you have a minor league team. That's why you draft and develop. So I'm sure Lekkerimaki will get another chance, whether it's injury or merit. He'll get another chance before the end of the season. But right now, with the Canucks struggling, it's not all his fault, obviously, but he's part of it. So maybe the Canucks are looking to change something up a little bit, change a little bit up in the mix. Maybe it means Brock Boeser, too, is getting closer to returning. Now, Lekkerimaki down, Max Sasson up. Sasson can play center, can play wing, and generally for most of the season in Abbotsford, he's played in the top 6 as a center. A lot of the games, actually, he's centering Klimovich and Ty Mueller. So that's whether that's the first line or the second line. So Sasson has played in 16 games, has 4 goals, 5 assists. So 9 points in those 16 games. He's a -4. He also has 42 shots on goal, and he has 6 penalty minutes. And he's got a shooting percentage of, no, that's a faceoff percentage. Points per game percentage. Never mind, 0.56. So I don't have a shooting percentage or a faceoff percentage. But right now, 9 points in 16 games, so just over half a point per game, or just over a point every 2 games. So what will Sasson bring? Sasson is a very responsible two-way player. That's the kind of how they build him. That's the way he wants to play. He does have some offensive ability, of course. Those 9 points in those 16 games are one sign of that. So I wouldn't say he's as dynamic as, say, a Lekkerimaki might be, but he might be right now a better two-way player. So I'm excited to see where Max Sasson fits into the lineup. It's so hard to say with Miller out, with Boeser close to returning. And I don't know if Sasson plays on the third line, if he ends up playing on the fourth line, say with Baines and Ratu, where that's a line that's played in Abbotsford before. I could actually see that, actually, now that I verbalize it. I could see Ratu playing on a line with Baines and Ratu. Sasson playing on a line with Baines and Ratu. So we'll see, and I guess we'll know tomorrow when the Canucks probably practice in Ottawa. Now, I kept talking about this flight to Ottawa, this footage on the Canucks social media of the Canucks flying to Ottawa. So Connor Garland is on that flight, which is good. That means he was able to spend a grand total of a day with his brand new newborn, and he's on the flight. But also on the flight is Brock Boeser, and I think that is a good sign. It's a good sign for a couple of reasons. Obviously, it means they expect he's likely going to play sometime on the 6-game road trip, so that's a good thing. The other thing is, usually if you're suffering from concussion or whiplash, and if the symptoms are bad, you probably don't want to be on a plane. And of course, they're going to be on 6 planes as they fly to each of their 6 stops on this road trip. So the fact that he's going on this road trip already, like at the start of the road trip, as opposed to meeting the Canucks. Because remember, after Ottawa, they have a 2-day break and then they play in Boston on Tuesday. So maybe there's a chance that he plays on Saturday. I'm not saying that for sure. But otherwise, why would you bring him out already? So maybe he'll practice tomorrow and they'll see if he's ready to go on Saturday, which would be amazing. The Canucks never put Boeser on IR. He's just been kind of on the roster, taking up a roster spot, salary counting towards the salary cap. But to me, maybe that means he's ready to go on Saturday. And if not, then maybe as early as Tuesday. But the fact that he's on the flight, the fact that they show footage of him on the flight, or at least walking on the tarmac, I'm sure he didn't just walk to the plane and then turn around and go home. So he's on the flight, he's in Ottawa, and instead, like I said, instead of joining halfway through the trip, the fact that he's there from the outset, I think there's a good chance that Brock Boeser plays on Saturday. Makes sense that Jonathan Lekkerimaki gets sent down, and then Max Sasson comes up in his place. So a lot of interesting storylines as always to track. You always have Thatcher Demko's inevitable return, JT Miller when he's going to come back, Derek Forbert on IR. So there's always something going on with this team, and we just hope for the best when it comes to the returns of some of those players that I just mentioned. But for now, Lekkerimaki down, Max Sasson up, and maybe, just maybe, Brock Boeser plays on Saturday, but we'll probably know better tomorrow after the Canucks practice in Ottawa. Tonight, I have my live stream, full CCC live stream, so I hope you join me right here on my YouTube channel at 11 p.m. tonight for some more Canucks talk. We'll break open these topics a little bit more. Shout out to my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Coach Patrick Liu, Weight Loss Coach. Thank you, legendary Lucas Gates, the legendary Andrew Chang, Hall of Fame and franchise members. And thanks to all of you for your support, as always, for watching, liking, and subscribing. So do that on the way out. Subscribe, like, you can leave a donation, and leave a comment down below. Tell me what you think about Lekkerimaki down. How did he do for those 5 games? What do you know about Max Sasson? What are you looking forward to? And do you agree with me that there's a chance that Brock Boeser will play on Saturday? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to read, react, and reply as always. Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. I'll see you tonight at 11 p.m. God bless, and go Canucks go.